Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to study the anti-epileptic drugs. So anti-epilepsy or anti-seizure drugs, basically they are to control seizures. And let's define what is a seizure. Seizure is an activity due to an abnormal, excessive, asynchronous neuronal discharge in brain. And when you have normally जितना भी आपका इलेक्ट्रिकल डिस्चार्ज है दैट इज सिंक्रोनस एंड दैट इज अंडर योर कंट्रोल बट सीजर इज एनी एबनॉर्मल एक्सेसिव एंड सिंक्रोनस डिस्चार्ज है न्यूरोनल डिस्चार्ज है जिसकी वजह से आपकी बॉडी के किसी भी पार्ट को इट starts trembling. And when the tendency to have unprovoked seizures, unprovoked means that is there is no apparent reason. This condition is called epilepsy. And there are different seizure types. One are the primary generalized seizures, when the focus of seizure, focus of the neuronal discharge affects the whole brain. This is called primary generalized seizure. Or there may be focal seizure in a part of brain that may secondarily become generalized and spread to the other parts of brain and involve the whole brain. So there are basically two basic types: primary generalized and focal seizures, which may become with secondary generalization. And the part affected in the body depends that which part of brain is being affected. So seizures are classified under the International League of Against Epilepsy classification as generalized seizures, primary seizures, and then focal seizures. The primary seizures are tonic-clonic seizures, grand mal seizures. The focal seizures, generalized seizures, sorry, the generalized seizures are called primary seizures, and the most common type is tonic-clonic seizures, which is called grand mal epilepsy. Sorry, due to my illness, I cannot speak properly, but I hope this slide would be self-explanatory. Then there is the absent seizures, typical and atypical. Absent seizures, when the person loses contact with his environment. There is no obvious movement in this type of seizure. Then myoclonic seizures, and then there are tonic, simple clonic or atonic seizures. And then there are focal seizures. If they are without impairment of consciousness, they are called simple partial seizures. And if they are impairment of consciousness, this is complex partial seizures. They may evolve to the secondary generalized seizures and become the grand mal epilepsy. And then there are different epileptic spasms which are usually seen in children. So the types of epilepsy are grand mal epilepsy and petit mal epilepsy. The grand mal epilepsy is typically tonic-clonic seizures, but petit mal epilepsy is any type other than the grand mal epilepsy. And the term was originally used for absent seizures. So why is a seizure type important? It is important to know the seizure type because the different seizures have different neurologic pathophysiologies. The grand mal epilepsy involves mostly the sodium channels. Sodium channel involved in propagation of nerve impulse in tonic-clonic type of seizures, while in absence types of seizures, the main channels involved are calcium channels. So because two different types of channel are involved in these two different types, so we have to differentiate that the patient we are dealing with is a Flaps seizure type or tonic-clonic or grand mal seizure type. So based on the different neurologic pathophysiology, we have different treatments. So this is the diagram to show the general mechanism of the anti-epileptic drugs. This is a neuron which is affected by inhibitory neurons which release GABA. Then there are NMDA receptors which are excited by the glutamate, the excitatory neurons, and this neuronal body also has calcium channels, and then it has voltage gated sodium channels which help in the propagation of impulse. So GABA, basically our aim is to reduce the neuronal discharge. So what we can do, we can either increase the activity of GABA, the inhibitory neurons, or we can decrease the activity of the excitatory neurons, which is glutamate neurons. And then because calcium channels are involved in depolarization, so and they are T-type calcium channels, so we can block these calcium channels, or at the last we can block the propagation of impulse by the inhibition of action potential of these sodium channels. So basically these four places where we can stop the propagation of impulse, and these are different drugs given under the different mechanisms. And you may see that valproic acid is a drug that is used as calcium channel antagonist, that is used as NMDA receptor antagonist, that used as sodium channel antagonist. So that's why this is effective. This valproic acid is called the broad spectrum anti-epileptic because it is effective in all types of seizures. So again, the same mechanism, excitation can be decreased by either the inhibition of sodium. Our aim, we are giving a drug that is going to control seizures. Seizure is the abnormal discharge which is causing excessive neuronal firing. So basically our aim is to reduce the neuronal firing. So we have only two ways, either हम जो excitatory mechanisms हैं उनको कम करें या जो inhibitory mechanisms हैं उनको increase करें. So excitation can be decreased by the inhibition of sodium channels which use the property of use dependence. आप इसको एंटी में पढ़ चुके हैं, बाकी डिफरेंट जगह भी पढ़ चुके हैं. और the drugs which inhibit the sodium channels include phenytoin, carbamazepine, sodium valproate, topiramate, lamotrigine, and locasenamide. Then the second mechanism, we can inhibit the T-type calcium channels, and the drugs are ethosuximide, sodium valproate, and lamotrigine. Then we can inhibit the NMDA and kainate receptors, which are excitatory glutamate receptors, and the drug are called felbamate, topiramate. Felbamate inhibits the NMDA receptors, while topiramate inhibits the kainate receptors. And then these mechanisms were to reduce the excitation, and then we may increase the inhibition, which is through GABA. So the GABAergic drugs which mimic the actions of GABA, so there may be increase in GABA activity. How? We can increase the synthesis of GABA. Sodium valproate helps in it. We can increase in the release of GABA. GABA जो अपने वेसिकल्स में स्टोर होता है उसके हम रिलीज को इंक्रीज कर सकते हैं थ्रू यूज ऑफ गैबा पेंटीन एंड प्रीगैबालिन. आर वी कैन डिक्रीज द मेटाबॉलिज्म ऑफ गाबा कि जो गाबा रिलीज हो जाता है उसका मेटाबॉलिज्म कम हो जाएगा. उसका मेटाबॉलिज्म कम हो जाएगा तो उसका स्टे जो है सांप्स में लागर हो जाएगा जिसकी वजह से उसकी इनहिबिशन इंक्रीज कर जाएगी. सो दिस इज थ्रू द विगाबैट्रिन एंड सोडियम वेलप्रेट. देन वी कैन inhibit the reuptake of GABA ताकि GABA should stay longer in the synaptic cleft, cagabine. And lastly, we can give the drugs which mimic the actions of GABA, GABA mimetic drugs which are barbiturates and benzodiazepines. So these are the 5 steps where we can increase the synthesis, increase in the release, decrease the metabolism or reuptake, and the GABA mimetic drugs जो GABA के एक्शन को मिमिक करती हैं. थ्रू these mechanisms we can increase the inhibitory action. So either we increase the inhibitory action or we decrease the excitatory actions. These were the general mechanisms of anti-epileptic drugs, and this is the classification of anti-epileptic drugs, which is basically based upon the type of seizure in which it is used. Okay. The major 3 major types: the tonic-clonic and partial seizures, absence seizures, and myoclonic seizures. Okay, and out of these 3, again these 2 must be differentiated: the tonic-clonic and absence seizures. Okay, so this is the classification given in your book. And when we study the individual drugs, we have to focus on certain points because anti-epileptic drug is a very vast topic. But at your level, you have to know few things. One, what is the mechanism of action of drug? First thing. Then, what is the major pharmacokinetic properties? Then, the most important thing to know is on which type of seizure this drug is effective and major adverse effects. And if the drug has uses other than seizures. So we studied one by one. The phenytoin is a sodium channel blocker. It acts on sodium channel in inactive state and may be given orally, may be given parenteral. But when we given parenteral phenytoin, this is very painful and may cause necrosis where it is being injected. That's why we use a water-soluble compound of phenytoin, which is called phosphenityne, so that it is less painful by injection. When we give phosphenityne, it is converted into the phenytoin in the body. This is metabolized the cytochrome P450 system by the 2C83A and UGT enzymes, and this is effective in focal and generalized tonic-clonic seizures. Okay. The adverse effects are nystagmus, ataxia, gingival hyperplasia, peripheral neuropathy, and osteoporosis. Anti-seizure drugs, once they are started, they are at least started for a period of 2 years. If a patient remains seizure-free, total seizure-free for 2 years, then you try to taper off the drug. But if a person, when you are tapering off the drug, if a person again gets a seizure, you continue the drug again, and in most cases you have to continue this drug lifelong. So one thing is that you have to give this drug lifelong. Second thing, usually the epilepsy is in childhood or adolescent age, and just think the duration the patient has to take these drugs. If a patient is taking these drugs for lifetime, over 40, 50, 60 years, so you must select the drugs cautiously so that the number of adverse effect is minimal. So the major adverse effects are gingival of the phenytoin are gingival hyperplasia and peripheral neuropathy and osteoporosis. Then the second drug, the most common used drug, the phenytoin is usually used in children. The second most common the drug most commonly used is valproic acid, and it has multiple actions. It acts on sodium channels, it acts on GABA transminase and on calcium channel also. It is it comes in as regular and extended release forms. It inhibits cytochrome P2C9 and UGT enzyme and epoxide hydrolase enzymes. That's why it has got drug interactions. And this is, as I told you already, this is called the broad spectrum anti-epileptic drug. It is effective on focal seizures, it is effective on generalized seizures, and it is also effective on absence seizures. And the adverse effect are hepatotoxicity, weight gain, alopecia, and teratogenicity. Teratogenicity, cannot be given to pregnant women. If a woman who is on valproic acid gets pregnant, this drug must be replaced. The third common used drug is carbamazepine. It acts only on sodium channels. It is sodium channel inhibitor in its inactive state. And but the problem with carbamazepine is that it has got erratic absorption. It induces its own metabolism. You have to, when you start giving carbamazepine to a patient, you have to increase its dose gradually, because the patient taking carbamazepine would increase its own metabolism, its own clearance. It induces 2C and 3A and UGT enzymes. Valproic acid was inhibiting them. And it is effective on focal and generalized tonic-clonic seizures. And due to the induction of enzymes, it has got drug-drug interactions, and in old patients, it may cause hyponatremia. This is a commonly used drug which is used which has been used as the drug of choice for trigeminal neuralgia, bipolar disorder, and neuropathic pain. It is still effective drug for neuropathic pain. So these are uses other than the epilepsy. Then there are benzodiazepines and barbiturates, phenobarbital. Both act on the GABA A channels. One benzodiazepine and the second barbiturates, the different mechanism, that one increases the frequency of the opening of chloride channel, and the second increases the duration of opening of the chloride channels. So they are effective, they are given as both oral and parenteral formulations, while phenobarbital is an enzyme inducer. They are effective on generalized tonic-clonic, myoclonic, and status epilepticus. But the major adverse effects are they cause much sedation, tolerance, we have to increase the dose, and then there is abuse potential. So last of all, there is ethosuximide. Ethosuximide is the drug of choice for absence seizures. This has got only one use. Absence seizures is acts on only calcium channel and given orally, and the major adverse effects of GI irritation and dizziness. Then these are the supportive drugs, adjunctive drugs, which are used with major drugs. And the important, I have just highlighted the important points. Lamotrigine may cause skin rashes, Stevenson-Johnson syndrome, epidermal necrolysis. Zonisamide is also causes skin rashes, renal stones. Topiramate causes renal stones, glaucoma, oligohydrosis, and its other use other than epilepsies for migraine. Felbamate may cause aplastic anemia or acute hepatic failure. Vigabatrin may cause visual field loss. So if you get MCQ and there is written some adverse fact that the patient is on some anti-epileptic drug and he has developed renal stones, so you must remember these two drugs, zonisamide and topiramate. Or if it points out some other disorder, so you must know which drug causes which adverse effect. And then there is a condition which is called status epilepticus. That is, if two or more seizures occur without recovery of full consciousness in between episodes, this is status epilepticus, the acute episode of epilepsy. And the treatment is IV benzodiazepines, usually the diazepam or lorazepam. Or if it is not controlled, we may give IV phosphonidine. Or if the patient is a child, we may give IV phenobarbital. And if this is not controlled with these IV benzodiazepines or phosphonidine and phenobarbital, we have to progress the general anesthesia to stop the seizures. And in pregnancy, these three drugs are teratogenic: valproic acid, carbamazepine, and phenytoin. Valproic acid causes neural tube defects in fetus, while carbamazepine causes craniofacial abnormalities, and phenytoin causes fetal hydantoin syndrome. So these drugs are teratogenic, and if a patient is using these drugs, his drugs must be changed. Her drugs must be changed during pregnancy. Thank you. This is all about the anti-epileptic drugs. I have tried to make a larger topic a concise one. So you need to just remember important points. The most important thing is which seizure type are you dealing with and which drug is effective against which seizure types, and what is the major adverse effect of that anti-epileptic drugs. Thank you. If you have any questions, you are more than welcome to ask them. Thank you.